Hey everyone, it's Victoria. Welcome back to my raised garden bed. This is a really quick update on my 5th year of growing in this raised bed. The highlight of this year is definitely my pea wall. Look at all of these beautiful peas. They're the tallest that I've ever grown, my peas, and I also have beans behind there that are climbing up all the way to the top. This year I wanted to talk a little bit about how I start my seeds and prepared all of my seedlings before I transplanted them into this bed. Here are all of the seed packets that I bought online. I have some lettuce and bok choy for my egg cartons. And then I have some flowers, okra, onions for this old marigold tray, bell peppers and tomatoes to go in this greenhouse tray with those little dirt pods. And then I have these flowers and vegetables that I will directly sow into the soil. I also wanted to try out this bag of purple potatoes called Violet Queens. My mom helped me plant them in some deep pots as well as these planter bags. Let's hope we get some taters. I added some water to these soil pods. Of course, you don't have to use these. These ones can definitely add up in costs. But I had a bunch of extra ones that I got on sale. So I try to plant 2 little seeds in here just in case one of them doesn't sprout. These are all of my bell pepper seeds. And once all of the seeds are sowed, I put them in a south-facing window. This is our bay window where we keep a lot of our houseplants, especially the succulents. They love this area. And then the other seeds I also put near a south-facing window that gets lots of sunlight every day. With spring right around the corner now, I am finally ready to reveal my garden bed after a long winter. I have these weed barriers on top of a pile of leaves that I left last fall. I'm always afraid that some sort of creature will jump out, and I'm sure some of them lived in there during the winter. These leaves just act kind of like a mulch to keep the moisture in the soil, and as they decompose, hopefully add some nutrients to the soil as well. I heard that they can be beneficial to have leaf mold growing on your soil, but I really can't tell if there's any difference if I do this or not. I just leave the leaves on top for the whole winter and hope none of them fly away. And then once spring comes along, we're ready to rake them and compost them. After a week or two, my seedlings are finally coming along. Some of them take longer than others, and sometimes they just don't sprout at all, and that's when you have to decide to start them again, or maybe if it's too late, you'll have to just buy them in the store. But these ones were all sprouting very nicely, and they weren't too leggy. I think it's because I put them in a very nice sunny, warm area, so they're not always reaching out for light. For the seeds that I directly sowed into the soil, it's as easy as that. You just put them right in the hole, following the instructions on the seed packaging, and then bury it, give it plenty of water. For carrots and beets, I put them all in a nice row in a line like this. 1 month later, this is one of my tomato seedlings, and I always snip off the bottom branches so that I can bury the stem deep into the soil and allow more roots to grow from the stem. This is a trick that a lot of people show you, and it's worked pretty well. These are my carrot and beet seedlings coming along very nicely, as well as the snow pea and beans that started to sprout while I was in Japan with my brother. My mom installed this arch structure for them to grow onto, and after a month, this is what we have. As of July 1st, Canada Day, this is my garden with the left side having okra, my leafy greens, as well as my root vegetables. This area gets a lot more shade and not as much sunlight as the other side, but I think that's perfect for these variety of plants. My bok choy grew the best it ever has. I got different seeds. Any of the leaves that were eaten by insects and weren't very nice looking, we would just peel it off for Koopa. She will gobble it right up and really enjoys some fresh bok choy. Middle section this year is for all of my vining plants. It's the first time I've tried arranging it this way. I've got 4 bean plants in the back and hoping that that will give us a very good supply. This year was the best year I've ever grown snow peas, and it was all thanks to this net on this arched structure that my mom bought. And then the tomatoes are thriving. Very excited for them to start fruiting. The peppers, I think they're a bit slow this year. I think they were a lot bigger last year around this time. But I just put them under these greenhouses. They love to be in a humid, warm environment, and it keeps a lot of the moisture in with these greenhouses that I got from the dollar store. This one I'll just be patient with. And that is pretty much what my garden looks like so far. The first mini harvest that we did was for the snow peas. This is a very popular vegetable for Chinese dishes, and we got a pretty good little supply here. I just really wish I have carrots to go with this. I love using rain barrels because I really can save a lot of water. I don't need to use the hose. I pretty much used only rain barrel water for like the last 2 months until we had a heat wave, and then we had to turn on the hose to water the grass. All of my vegetables in this bed so far I've been watering with my rain barrel water, and that's so awesome. I can use it every year. I just have to make sure that I put the rain barrels in the garage during our Canadian winters. These are the rain barrels that we've been using for 4 or 5 years now, and you can see there is this pipe all the way up to the top of the roof so that when it rains, all of it goes down into my barrel. And the great thing about this design is that they have this net to catch any debris from the roof. No bugs can go inside. Down here at the bottom, I can turn the knob to release clean rainwater. And if this barrel is full, there is a pipe at the back. There's a hole here, and then this pipe leads all the way over to my second barrel. Same thing, there's a net to prevent debris, but this one can just go directly inside because it's already filtered through this one here. And then any excess from this one can go out and down to the grass. We have this one with a pipe here, like a tube that I can stick into my watering can. And that is how we've been watering our plants, with these beautiful rain barrels that have been providing so much stored water for us. Back here, I also have my composter that I got last year. I haven't really been able to use any compost from here yet. I think it just takes some time. It takes a while to turn into good compost, but this is some of the gunk from last season. And then here is a fresh one with new produce, new grass and clippings that will take some time. Thank you so much for gardening along with me. I love doing these updates every year because every year there's something different that you can learn, something you can improve. And I do think that my peppers could have been doing a bit better this year. I guess they're a bit late this year. I always get lots of amazing tips and tricks from more experienced gardeners in the comments, so please feel free to leave any advice, any observations. I'm always learning about gardening because I really don't have a good background in doing this. I'm kind of just doing trial and error at this point. I use fertilizers. I've been improving every year with a lot of people's advice. Let me know if there's anything I could do better, and I will come back to show you guys how the plants do at the end of the season when I harvest everything. Bye!